What an idiot. I'll never be able to do that. I should know better than to open my big mouth. Rather than helping us learn to perform better, those inner criticisms hold us back. Those negative statements, which are almost always about who we are rather than specific to behavior, they drain our confidence and prevent us from moving forward in our lives. If you find yourself caught in a cycle of self-deflating inner criticism, take heart. You can change how you speak to yourself. Everyone has an inner voice, but because our inner voice develops so early in life, we often don't recognize that this voice is overly harsh and critical. It's just always been there, so we accept it. We accept that that's part of our normal life. In fact, you may have an overly negative inner critic if you notice things like you often judge yourself harshly or criticize yourself a lot. You often feel bad about yourself when you stray from your healthy eating or exercise regime. You feel like you need to constantly whip yourself into shape. You find yourself turning to comfort food and then feeling guilty and down yourself about your choices. The good news is it's entirely possible to create a new relationship with your inner critic. Simple journaling prompts and processes such as journaling about your gratitude or even keeping a self-love journal are powerful and easy to use tools that many people swear by. Transforming your relationship with your inner critic begins with transforming your inner critic dialogue and limiting beliefs. As you change the conversation in your head to one that's more positive, as well as replacing limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs, the way you feel about yourself will permanently change for the better. In other words, you'll cultivate deep, lasting self-love and your confidence will grow exponentially as a result. I know from experience how transformational it is to change the relationship with your inner critic and to even constantly cultivate self-love. Spending years of thinking I was not good enough or I could never be the person I truly wanted to be because I didn't deserve that, traveling was the thing that worked for me to learn more about myself, to give myself confidence and to become the happy, fulfilled person that I am today. The thing I always remember is a report card that I had when I was a child, and it said, Renee's lack of confidence leads to self-doubt. And I think that carried with me through my whole life until I finally set free and I traveled and I spent time on my own and I discovered there was a whole other world out there. And through my journey in traveling, discovering myself, I was able to become more confident, happy with my body, happy with the things I did, happy with myself. It was an amazing transformation. I used a variety of tools and processes over the years to increase my self-love, self-acceptance, and confidence, and you can too. I transformed my relationship with my inner critic, and these days my inner critic voice is a loving, encouraging, uplifting voice who uplifts and coaches me to reach my absolute best. I adore myself and I feel amazing in my body. I love my life, my work. I love helping people. I have the confidence, clarity, and the energy to fearlessly pursue my wildest dreams. And you can be the same way too. Journaling prompts and processes, such as keeping a gratitude or self-love journal, definitely play a role in how your inner voice shows up. If you've never journaled before, or if you've journaled, you've not been very specific or had an end goal in mind, it might sound really far-fetched, but trust me, it can work. Okay, so what is a self-love journal? Journaling is a process of writing in a diary or journal, usually noting your inner thoughts and your observations around the world. Some people use journals as a way to record the details of their life. Others use journaling as a way to purge emotions or to calm themselves down. And others use it as a way to process things that happen to them. Regardless of how you use it, a journal can be a powerful and proven tool to facilitate the dialogue with your inner critic and voice. Think of journaling as having a conversation with yourself on paper. A self-love journal is a journal that you can create and maintain with a specific purpose of increasing the compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, and love you feel for yourself. The simple fact is that many women develop an overly negative inner critic whose observations and suggestions for improvement can wear down their confidence and shake their self-esteem, sabotaging many areas of their life. Writing a self-love journal can offer the opportunity to be more self-aware. You become more mindful in your thoughts and feelings and how your thoughts and feelings affect your energy and emotional state. You can then more clearly see how your thoughts and feelings affect your actions. Keeping a self-love journal allows you to create a sacred space for a conversation with your inner self. And just as in relationships with other people, the more time you spend communicating with yourself, the better you will get at knowing yourself and the more self-love you can create. How self-love journaling can actually change your life. Journaling therapy has long been a favorite mental health tool because of its many benefits, especially with healing the inner critic. An easy way to use a journal is to clear your mind by doing a brain dump. This is actually my favorite thing to do. It's just as venting or talking through a problem with your spouse or a trusted friend. It can help you feel better. Journaling can help you get out all the thoughts and emotions bouncing around in your mind and get it onto paper. One way to look at an emotion is the energy in motion. Once your emotions are out, you'll be able to deal with them more objectively and you'll feel calmer. Journaling can help you gain perspective through an objective when dealing with that inner critic thoughts and dialogue. Try writing out whenever your overly negative inner critic is saying and then read it out loud. Seeing your inner critic thoughts in black and white can really give you perspective on when your inner critic is being unfair, exceptionally harsh or mean. Reading your inner critic dialogue out loud can help you hear and recognize that the way that you speak to yourself in your mind is nothing like how you would speak to somebody you care about. I always think, would you speak to a friend in the same way that that inner critic inside you is speaking to yourself? Many people feel hostage to their emotions. They might fall into a bad mood or suddenly feel blue and they have no idea why. But what they don't recognize is that our inner thoughts trigger our emotions. Our inner voice keeps up a steady interior narrative of the life and we learn to tune out. But even if our inner critic dialogue is just background noise, we absorb its messages at a subconscious level. Journaling can help you tune into what your inner critic is saying and recognize when you respond with anxiety, guilt, shame, or fear. Journaling gives you a way to deliberately shift your thought patterns rather than passively listening to that chatter, and you can write it out and consciously direct your thoughts. How can you start a self-love journal? The first step is creating a self-love journal practice. Simple for you to do it. And then the first step is actually deciding that you're going to do it. The next step is to find a place where you can write your thoughts. You can use a computer or electronic device if you wish, but something magical happens when you really put pen to paper. And writing by hand allows your brain to focus on the words in a way that often doesn't happen when you're typing. Then you just need to reserve a few minutes each day in your calendar to devote time to your gratitude or self-love journal. Many people find that journaling in the morning allows them to set an empowering tone for the day. For me, I find doing it before bedtime really works for me. Sometimes journaling at night allows you to process the experience of the day, clear your heads just before sleep, and I find when I journal at nighttime, I get a lot better sleep. If you worry about not having enough time to devote to a journal practice, remind yourself that you are worthy of every minute. Journaling is equivalent to putting your oxygen mask on first in the airplane emergency. It's a way to prioritize your self-care and self-love. And it doesn't have to take forever. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You just need to start. So what are some journal prompts that you could start off with? What am I grateful for? Number 2, what things fill me with joy today? And number 3, what can I do today to feel nourished, body, mind, and soul? Investing in expressions of self-love is an easy, powerful, and proven way to heal that inner critic. The more you consciously take care of yourself, the more your self-esteem will grow, and the less you will be influenced by the fear, guilt-ridden messages of your overly negative inner critic. True self-love is the foundation of a happy and fulfilled life, and it's an essential key to giving love and receiving love from someone else. The more that you love yourself, the more you'll be able to pour that into other people, and the more you'll be able to recognize that you're deserving of the love that they want to share with you. When you take the time to nourish yourself, your self-confidence and your self-esteem will soar, and you're empowered to put your best self forward in your personal and professional life. At a subconscious level, cultivating self-love with a self-love journal, journal writing prompts, and other tools is a powerful and easy way to heal that inner critic. And harsh and overly negative inner critic voices the limiting beliefs and thoughts that can invite you to feel anxious, fearful, guilty, and ashamed. A self-love journal gives you a way to transform limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs, a harsh inner critic voice into an encouraging voice, and the negative thoughts into powerful thoughts. Give it a go today and let me know how you go.